Hi, Ivo. How are you today?
Very good. Very good. Good to be here.
It's lovely to have you here. I cannot say how excited I am for this conversation. We've been chatting about this in our coffee breaks and lunches, etc. And I really want to spend some time, take it on camera, so we can have a discussion. What you have been seeing in the last 12 months. What are you seeing that the future of kind of digital agencies is, and would love to be able then to share it with our audiences.
It's great to be here, and let's go.
Very good. So I've prepared a few different questions for you. I'll try to guide the conversation. I'll ask you a few questions. Please feel free to share your thoughts, like in a coffee conversation like we are having. I think this would be super valuable for people who are watching us. We can definitely follow the script, but also I've been giving a green light to go outside of the script, so I might add a question or two if I find it interesting. Great. The first question that I want to open up the conversation with is, what are your thoughts on how go-to-market is evolving? What are you seeing? I mean, you're working with quite a lot of, I would say, VPs and CMOs in B2B tech companies. And you're hearing it firsthand, what are the top problems that they're seeing? What are the top problems that you're seeing from an operational standpoint? So share with us your thoughts.
Excellent question. There is definitely a pattern that I recognize in the past 12 months in that a lot of the go-to-market motions that our clients are coming to us with have to prioritize between SMB and enterprise. So there's almost always an enterprise go-to-market motion and an SMB enterprise SMB go-to-market motion.
Yep.
And we need to think very carefully how to balance both in terms of marketing support, because both require totally different strategies and totally different, I would say, investment levels. And I'll break it down and start with the SMB go-to-market motion. To this day, I still can confidently claim that paid inbound tactics work very well for the SMB segment. So Google and LinkedIn are totally, I think, ruling that segment. And we're able to create some very sophisticated strategies to capture real-time intent.
Nice.
And to build some sort of a journey to influence, penetrate and influence the buyer group in a particular industry, right?
Within the SMBs.
Within the SMBs, correct. So essentially, everything that a marketer needs to do paid inbound business generation can be done with LinkedIn and Google, where LinkedIn covers the educational part, because LinkedIn does offer the most powerful firmographic database that the world has ever seen. It's always up to date. It has amazing coverage, and it's very easy to segment. So essentially, you can build some very sophisticated journeys for the personas inside of the buyer group, right? And then you can influence. And then everybody that is in a hand raiser mode, you can capture with search. So essentially, all of the success that we've seen can pretty much boil down to this type of a dance between LinkedIn and Google.
Nice. And in terms of media distribution, are you seeing any trends there between Google and LinkedIn?
Yes, absolutely. So the past 5 years have really changed the way how media is being distributed, if we go ahead and just follow performance. So before, I think Google was really ruling the biggest part of the media budgets. But now that LinkedIn is really picking up its game in terms of lead gen capabilities, as well as awareness capabilities, I believe that we're looking at a 2026, or looking at a world where you have a 50-50 split between Google and LinkedIn.
Nice.
Yes.
I'm seeing that LinkedIn is also heavily investing in measurement. That has to do something with the performance and kind of help you out to increase even more the campaign efficiency. Something that LinkedIn has been kind of lagging behind Google compared historically, but this is the year of measurement, I think, for LinkedIn.
Indeed, it is.
Cool.
And just to top it all off, we're seeing if we can really I think, summarize the successful structures of that investment within Google and LinkedIn, I can say, probably share just a few very practical tips. So LinkedIn, it's all about over-segmentation. So LinkedIn allows us to create segments for each persona, in each industry, in each geo. So essentially, we need to come up with a very granular strategy, as granular as possible, where we would map the content for each persona against that persona's segment. This could mean that one persona can have 1,000 people in it, another could have 100,000 in it. That doesn't matter. The idea is to create an awareness journey that is as tailored as possible. And LinkedIn allows us to segment very, very neatly from that perspective. With Google, it's vice versa. We need to aggregate as much as possible. So collect all of the targeting and in as few campaigns as possible, so that we provide Google enough data to do what Google does best, self-optimize. So Google is the king, continues being the king in self-optimization and smart optimization. So as long as we aggregate the campaign structures and we bring the right signals for optimization, Google will do an excellent job. Optimizing for deep funnel activity.
So just to make sure what you're saying invest in kind of creating micro segments, micro audiences that are part of your buyers group, map that out to specific messages so you're more relevant, and then break down those audiences, those messages into separate campaigns. So this way you maximize kind of the return on investment from LinkedIn, right?
Correct.
Great. And for Google, I guess we're seeing that they're going all in on kind of utilizing AI algorithms, advertising algorithms. So the better signals you put in, Google will sort it out for you, and it will provide the most value for money based on kind of the grouping, the aggregation of campaigns, which is kind of whole different tactic and approach to how campaigns should be structured.
Indeed.
Nice. That's a super tip. Thank you. Let me get you back to what you said. So the SMBs, this is your secret sauce. How are you doing it for the enterprises? How are you thinking about go-to-market for enterprises?
Another excellent question. And I think we have grown to learn so much in the past few years. We were in a position to spend millions of dollars chasing enterprises across our client portfolio. And I can definitely summarize this with one word. One sentence. There's a huge evolution in terms of account-based marketing that's happening right now. And we need to change our mindset in terms of how we're thinking in pursuing enterprises, the enterprise ideal customer profile. So in the world before, essentially, I see that across the board marketers were using ABM as a targeting tactic. They would just say, we're going to target these enterprises and we're going to expect, obviously, to influence and expect to have some hand raisers, but also there was expectations for lead generation. So marketers were expecting to convert enterprises through the
form submissions on the
form
website?
submissions, indeed, and applying what we know from pursuing the SMB segment. With the SMB segment, you have a very clear decision-making process, and the buyer group is much smaller. With the enterprises, this is not the case. We all know that, and the message with which we penetrate the buyer group in an enterprise is much more complex. So we need to.
And the process is probably longer in the enterprise if you look at it. So you need more time.
Exactly, and we need to apply the over-segmentation here as well. So in an enterprise, we need to isolate the buyer group, and that won't be 2 to 3 people. That probably will be 10 to 15 people. And you need to break it down, and you need to think what's the best way to create the needed awareness so we get somebody from that buyer group to a one-on-one conversation. Our data shows that across 5 of our largest agency accounts, only 5 to 8% of the leads from their target enterprise accounts are coming in inbound.
Interesting.
Yes.
Everything else is coming from...
Everything else is either enriched or in some shape or form uploaded into the database. Right. So we see that, you know, we are doing so much from a marketing perspective to reach these accounts, but we're not converting, like we're not building the database this way. So we need to flip our thinking. Marketing for enterprise accounts should not be about lead generation. It should be about awareness, penetration, and engagement. And then on the way, we're going to collect a bunch of data. We can collect account level data. You know, we're going to know which accounts from our list of, let's say, 1,000 accounts is truly engaged. We have means to do it. We have means to do it in LinkedIn, but also in various ABM platforms like Sixth Demandbase. But now we have the capability to also do it on a contact level. And this is more precise and even more important because the outreach, the one-on-one conversation happens with the person and not with the company. So you need to, if let's say you see that company X is engaged, the next question we need to ask is who we managed to engage. And there are various companies out there, but one is standing out. This is Influ2, a company that we work with and partner up for the past 2 years. And we are seeing that the technology that they're offering, the so-called contact level data enrichment and targeting, allows us to collect this data on a personal level. So in essence, we're able to see who from the buyer group we managed to influence, and then we would influence the outreach process. In short, when we think of targeting enterprises and think of ABM, we need to flip the thinking. First, we need to think what is the best content to create air cover and build awareness before and during the outreach.
To start the conversation, right?
Correct.
That's the first touch, okay?
Correct. And then you will collect the data. You will know who was engaged in the process, and this would inform the sales outreach. So we need to think of enterprise accounts from a marketing perspective, not, you know, how we can convert them, but how we can help sales get them on a call. And we do that by providing tailored air cover to the outreach that's happening otherwise.
This is, I believe, this has been historically, we've been doing together ABM, I don't know, I guess the last 15 years in one way or another. And it's been like this black box, like target this account, and we promise that we're gonna, you know, reach all the people that work for this account. But this hasn't been like successful at all for us because we've been kind of praying more than actually doing the right thing in order to actually marketing to support sales, right? To enable sales to do their job better. What we've done, what I've seen, it's we've done the job once, and then the sales have started. It's starting to do the same job all over again. Like we didn't have this handover of here are the people that you should continue the conversation with. And I love what you're saying and the results that you're seeing. This really proves like that we've had the hunch and now we have the technology and the process in order to be able to deliver on that promise.
Exactly. The handover from marketing to sales, I think it's critical, not just in terms of a data point, but in terms of a process as well. And you know, my message to everybody, you know, thinking of ABM in-house, but also working with external vendors. Like our agency, is to actually bring all of the marketing stakeholders together, find a way to interface with the sales team. So we will be very often in a position to request to actually meet with the sales team and let them know what data we're bringing to the CRM. Because we're introducing new data points on a contact level. So we're introducing impression data, click data, we know whether there was a certain threshold of engagement that we defined as marketing that was hit. And at that point, we believe that that person is now ready for outreach. So all of that will start showing in HubSpot and Salesforce, not just in the fields that we would create, but also in the activity log, right? So it's important for us to actually identify all of these data points for sales, let them know that now they're otherwise called prospects that they're trying to get to anyway. We've targeted. So let's say 10% of these contacts we've reached, we've engaged, prioritize them. And I can confidently share that we're seeing success across the board with this process and this thinking. And I can quote the number 55% increase in cold meetings booked when marketing was in a position to provide that air cover.
Very nice. You're talking about this notion of finally, like, sales can understand what marketing is doing for them and how marketing is helping them, which is amazing. Great. Let me kind of bring in one more aspect of this conversation. Like, what are the top failures like you're seeing when people are trying to do ABM, or when we've done ABM? What are the top no-nos or learnings, whichever way you feel it? Like, you can take the question.
Yeah, the top no-no is trying to make the ABM investment work from a lead gen perspective. A lot of companies are doing it like this. So ABM,
we're putting a X on it.
Putting an X on
All right.
this. So we're seeing that there's a budget bucket, and we're going to do Google and LinkedIn and paid inbound, and then within that budget, you also have ABM budget.
All right.
So the moment you plan for your budget this way, you're pretty much saying, I'll expect ABM to be measured the same way like the other paid inbound metrics.
Okay.
But we know for a fact that ABM in media investment does not result in leads.
Okay. That's the first X. Talk to me about the second one.
The second no-go for me is relying on intent signals as a base for the ABM strategy.
Yeah.
Intent signals, from our experience at least, are not of good quality. So we're pretty much building, we're ending up in a situation to build an entire strategy and segmentation around data that is inaccurate. So companies like Bombora that are bringing forward intent data for whatever segment of the market, being in market for a particular solution, our data is pretty much showing that we're not able to convert this segment, or at least not more efficiently than any other type of segmentation that we would be doing.
Everything what I'm seeing in the conversations that I'm part of, very oftentimes, like 90% of the conversations, we always would end up talking about the evolution of how we measure success for B2B businesses. Can you cover this topic? What are you seeing? What are you seeing in your conversations? How are you actually driving this, I would say, change of mindset or evolution of how the CMOs should be driving this conversation within their companies?
The measurement piece, I think it's crucial for any long-term paid inbound investment strategy. And this is why we as an agency have invested so much in kind of integrating the paid services with the data services. I'll give you a few examples. So right now, chasing the SMB market essentially would get us to either using Google or LinkedIn. Google is doing a good job at optimizing the campaigns and the media spend if we provide the right data signals. We know that a form submission is no longer a good data signal. Why? Because it's not filtering for any quality.
Yep.
And if you just optimize for a form fill event, you would end up most probably seeing lower quality traffic and lower quality form submissions. In any case, form submissions that are outside of the ideal customer profile. But Google will do a great job if you define the next step after the form fill in that sort of a qualification journey. So we know that not all contacts coming into the database are of quality, but what are the quality attributes? So this is the question we're asking, and we're defining, let's say, a concept. I can almost call it the concept of an ICP lead. It's a concept. It's not a formal lead lifecycle stage.
Okay. Some sort of a scoring, maybe.
Based on some sort of a scoring, or even something even more rudimentary. You know, you either have this in your title and in the company's attributes, or you don't.
Okay.
So somebody being a CTO in a company above 1,000 employees in manufacturing, is either ICP fit or no. It's really a true-false logic. And if you build it like this, you're in a better situation to optimize your investment because you're fueling this into the smart optimization that Google is doing very well.
So you're turning this into a conversion signal that the campaigns are using.
Indeed.
Great.
Indeed.
Great.
I can wrap it up like this. Focus on the CRM data to essentially gauge the quality of the incoming leads, and not just report it, but to activate the data inside of the advertising platforms for optimization.
Good.
There's another thing that I want to add here, and something that has gotten us in very tricky situations before. Let's take the concept of ICP lead or even the MQL, right? Marketing is very often in a situation to be the MQL owner in terms of targets.
Correct.
And
it should be.
It should be. But the MQL, it's very much dependent on the lead scoring. I haven't seen the perfect lead scoring model. This is my experience. So some lower quality leads that are at least not ready to be seen by sales, they always go through that lead scoring model. But even if the lead scoring model is great, and let's say somebody that we managed to get with the right attribute and to behave the right way would come in. Us looking at that, us as marketers looking at MQLs and maximizing the MQLs has gotten us in very tricky situations because we've gotten to a place where for the spend that we have, we're increasing the MQLs. And we're increasing the MQLs in a rate that at some point plateaus. But that doesn't get us to more business from a paid inbound perspective. So if you analyze the cohort of these contacts, this is not getting us to any open pipeline. And we need to analyze this further. So now we're speaking about actually looking through these individuals, looking at their activity logs, looking at the behavior, getting feedback from sales, in order to get to a point to understand that certain assets that we're promoting to bring us MQLs, to bring us ICP
doesn't
leads,
match the expectations or how sales
are bringing the right people. So this is truly an ICP lead, a CTO in a 1,000+ company in manufacturing, but it's in no way in market for our product or in any product. They're just not in market. So we would end up realizing in a lot of the situations, if you look at the data this way, that you have certain assets in the mix, certain content pieces that are great for lead gen, and they will generate these names.
Nice.
But the velocity in closing that, turning it into pipeline, it's different. So we all need to look at the data this way, and we all need to come back to the marketing strategy table and define the budget split for some of these assets.
Awesome. I love this, and I would emphasize on this. Like, I'm seeing like probably 4 out of 5 conversations that I'm having. People are coming to me and they're saying, "Hey, we have quite a lot of leads, but they're not, converting at all." And I think this is the biggest problem that other agencies are creating for their clients, and clients are actually being provoked to search for another agency. But what you're essentially saying is that you're helping the clients to validate their ICP definition, which is massive. Because again, ICP definition or ideal customer profile, it's often defined like very generic, or we usually would have a great conversation with those people, but then again, where the market is and where those companies are, there might be a gap between. And you're saying the way you're working, you are actually going to help the organization in order to kind of validate that, even update it accordingly, so it actually goes out there and wins with the whole flow, with the whole conversation that creates for to engage.
Yeah, this is one aspect of it. Another
Nice.
aspect of it, even if you get to a point that the ICP is really well defined, you would need to think of updating the lead gen asset mix based on the fact that these different assets, some assets might be great at bringing the right fit leads, but if there's no market intent, you're not able to generate any pipeline, or at least not within that fiscal year. Probably further down the road, if you do a good job nurturing that into business, yes. So we're very often in a situation to advise, first of all, on changing the ICP definition, yes, but also on what the right mix of content assets is, right? Because if we just go ahead and maximize the leads, we can do that, but it wouldn't maximize necessarily the pipeline. And marketing needs to be thinking about how much of that budget is to open pipeline this fiscal year.
Nice.
And to create demand for the long term.
This all sounds like you're creating this another problem. Like you, in order to be able to analyze this, to assess the right way, so you can actually take the right insights, you're having data coming from different systems, and you need to kind of help the client in order to stitch this data to make a sense out of it. And I'm seeing that this is becoming one of the top problems of the CMOs that I'm talking to. Like this, I would say, the system integration part in order to be able to grow. To what extent you're offering, like you're helping, or is something that they should expect from their agency at all? Who's dealing with that? What are you seeing out there?
What is the goal? What is the goal from a marketing perspective or from a business perspective? The end goal of marketing measurement is to stitch the data in a way that it would allow us to put together the entire journey from a contact being touched to a contact being associated with an open deal or a deal being closed. So this is a very difficult journey to put together, right?
To capture and to stitch it all together from the different systems, the touch points.
You have anonymous data, you have then de-anonymized data. And then from a B2B perspective, it's also very tricky because you have the deal, which every CMO needs to care about. And it's actually the number one data point that everybody's looking at. But the deal is then associated with an account. This is a different data object. An account is associated with a contact.
Or multiple contacts.
This is a different data object. And yes, one account can have multiple contacts. And each contact, they have their own sequence of events that brought them to where they are in the database. And before they came to the database, they had different touch points and they were anonymous. So we're talking about 4 or 5 different systems collecting part of that data, part of that journey, and our role is to bring it all together. And what I can say, how we're looking at it, is we're definitely interested in the patterns of the buyer group, which means not just a single contact, but all the contacts associated with an account that lead to an open deal. And then the patterns, the negative patterns, right? Why some contacts were or accounts were not able to close. And in order to do it,
the positive signals and the negative signals are also important, right? What you're saying.
Exactly. And in order to do it, system integration is definitely the key. So CRM, it's in the center of it, but the CRM on its own, it's collecting, some only part of the data. So you can bring page level data, you can bring ad data, you can bring outreach data. And if you, our role is to integrate these systems so that we enrich the activity log for the deal. We have as many touch points in that deal and the contacts associated with that deal. And then if we analyze it, amazing patterns would surface. Amazing patterns. So one thing that we're doing, for example, with our clients is we are looking at open deals. We're analyzing their journeys. We're analyzing where LinkedIn awareness came into play. Were we serving ads before that person came to the database? We can see that. LinkedIn allows us to do something like that. And after somebody is now in the database, we're able to see all of the kind of the content pieces that they interact with and what influenced really that deal.
Awesome. Yeah, I'm particularly kind of highlighting the LinkedIn data part. I think that LinkedIn opened it up very recently. We got invited to be part of the alpha program, their measurement API, which actually is giving us the ability to see what are the accounts that LinkedIn has touched while we've advertised to them, which is again quite a large data set of that process or that system that you're referring to build it out and to come up with insights. Great. We've talked for the vast amount of data that is out there, for the different systems that we have the data in, and the stitching of that data and the value. Like, what are your kind of like 3 tips when it comes to what kind of a data marketers should be aiming to bring into their advertising platforms in order to be able to use for conversions, for audience targeting, positive or negative targeting? Like, top 3 tips.
CRM data. Bring all of the lifecycle stages into Google, LinkedIn, and Microsoft Ads. All of these platforms, they allow for conversion. They have a conversion API, so
that's an offline import into the systems.
Correct.
Great.
This is number 1. Number 2, leverage the LinkedIn company tab. Leverage the LinkedIn company tab. It's actually a data point that LinkedIn relatively recently opened up to everybody that has a LinkedIn Campaign Manager account. That is very rarely used. I see, and from all of the companies I speak to, 1 in 10 companies are using that data in any shape or form. And that data is truly amazing. I call that data really a game changer data because it allows us to see on an account level, on a company level, whether was the engagement level of that account from low to very high, and did we influence it using organic impressions and activities or paid impressions and activities. And you don't need to pay for that data. I want to underline this. We have companies, ABM, amazing companies like 6 Sense and Demandbase. Their core value prop is that you're able to collect engagement level data for your target accounts and accounts that engage with the business. LinkedIn is giving that for free. I think LinkedIn is really changing the game. You're able to see out of all of the people, all of the companies that are engaging with the business, are they in awareness, engagement, conversion stage? And then you can see the individual accounts that we managed to touch and engage. And this is the data that is available through the API, the new API that LinkedIn recently launched, Company Intelligence API. But it's also available in the Campaign Manager interface. And the great thing about it, there is no spend threshold. You don't need to commit any budget. You don't even need to spend anything. If you create a Campaign Manager, it will give you the company engagement data even based on your organic LinkedIn data.
This is $60,000 plus on the other solutions value, like for free. This is great tip.
You don't need an account data platform, engagement data platform anymore. LinkedIn is doing that out of the box.
So everybody's that is listening us, I hope they're taking a note on this really, really great tip.
This is number 2.
Nice.
And then number 3, it's again a LinkedIn measurement solution. It's called the LinkedIn Revenue Attribution, part of their platform. And they essentially allow all advertisers to have a very easy CRM integration, be that HubSpot or Salesforce, with their LinkedIn Campaign Manager, and to actually see influenced accounts based on historical LinkedIn activity.
Nice.
So essentially, the way that LinkedIn has approached it, I think it's brilliant. It's giving LinkedIn the option to provide, to attribute part of the revenue value created to awareness spend, which is always very tricky.
Yep.
And it's also brilliant for us marketers because we're able to see, even for investments such as awareness level investments,
Awesome.
video based on video or traffic, to tie that to revenue and pipeline. And they're doing it in a very simple, almost rudimentary way. LinkedIn is pretty much saying, we're going to look at the open deals or closed deals in your SFDC instance. We're going to see the account, and we're going to see whether you served impressions to that account.
Nice.
And what particular campaigns influence that account.
Yep.
And then all of a sudden, you start seeing a pattern. You see that out of let's say 50 deals closed last quarter, LinkedIn touched one way or another 20 of them.
Nice.
You know, so LinkedIn is playing a role not just as lead gen, but also to influence, to provide an air cover, if you will, during that process.
It's huge. This probably enables the whole different way of thinking that you just talked to us about, like how are you thinking about ABM campaigns, and how are you thinking about leveraging Google and LinkedIn in particular. Super nice, great tips. Thank you for that. Let me move on to the next topic that we have here, and what would be a conversation without an AI? So this is about AI agents. Just to provide some context, we are seeing quite a lot of the, let's say, the capabilities of the AI agents that we are using or testing or building is really getting to a point where we actually can see a real value. So I would like to start kind of this part of the conversation with, like, what are the agents that you and your team are using as of now?
First, defining or quantifying the use of AI, right? Because using agents is one thing, using AI prompts to do part of the work, it's a different thing. So I'll start there. As of December 2025, across the agency, I believe we can confidently claim that around 30% of our work is somehow enhanced by AI.
All right.
Let's start there. But then 5% of our work is based on, is done by AI agents, true AI agent systems. You know, you have one agent working with another. It's way more complex in the work that it does and in the workflows behind the scenes, with working with so much more context. And the 5%, I think, are very important to define, you know, how we define them. You know, where do we start? For
What's
us,
acceptable probably for us to let the AI do the work, right?
Yes, it's one of that, the kind of the factors is this. And then also the way how we are thinking about it internally is, you know, what is a repeatable problem? What is a complex problem? What is a problem that requires a lot of context? Something that, you know, we'll never be able to produce output based on so much context. And this is what we want to use AI agents for, right? And it's also important to know that we're building our own AI agents instead of buying AI agents. My personal, you know, experience with using external AI agents is that they're never as tailored to our internal needs as we want them to be, and this makes the final output more generic. More generic. So we decided to invest in building that internally, and it's all based on the process that we already have, enhanced in a way so that it can be fully automated. And like I said, working with a lot more context. So we've taken only 2 pieces of our work and fully decided to autonomously solve them with AI. And how we are measuring success, it's also important to note, well, the quality of our work of this 5% has gone up. The quality, the time has gone down, the results, the marketing results have gone up. So I think that's...
How do you know? How do you know? How do you measure that?
Yeah, it's very quantifiably.
Okay.
So amount of work invested into
For specific tasks.
For this type specific tasks is going down. We can measure that time. We can quantify that time. The results are going up. What this means is before or even in parallel, we would run campaigns using our own kind of human-based input. And then we would have our agentic input. And that agentic input in terms of these particular campaigns, they're doing better.
He's leading to a higher
yeah, and we're not talking
results,
vanity measures. We're talking more MQLs, we're talking more pipeline associated with it, etc.
Are we there yet, for example, for the marketing leaders to start thinking, I can replace a human with an AI agent? Is this real? Is this something that you're seeing? How far we are from this statement or way of thinking?
I don't think that we are there yet, although there might be some very niche, roles defined in some enterprises, like somebody only doing budget planning or somebody only doing invoicing.
Okay.
Well, this type of roles perhaps could be replaced, but a more general marketing role coming from this marketing background. I think it's we're still not there yet. With this pace of product evolution, I'm not sure when. I'm expecting that this would at some point be possible for, if we go back to our own experience. 5% of our work is currently done by AI agents. To get to 50, to get to 80. I assume that it will take some time, but I know it's coming, right? Okay. And then it's always a matter of philosophy, how the business is thinking about it. Is it I'm going to use AI to reduce the amount of humans, or is it I'm going to use AI so that I can change what a human does? Evolve their type of work.
I can share my thoughts there as well, just because this is probably one of the topics that I'm thinking the most, or I have been thinking the most the last few couple of years. What I'm seeing is that right now the role of humans is to manage AI agents. If you have a team that is not managing AI agents, you're missing out on an opportunity. So an AI agent should be an extension of that person's role, in order to speed things up, in order to, again, bring in some more structure to the thinking or to the task that person is being tasked with. Just a couple of examples. And what we need to be thinking about our teams, team evolution and skill set, is how we can actually help them to become better AI managers, AI agent managers. If we are able to help them out with that, then we're going to be expecting, or we should be expecting, more productive team under our belt. So this is like in short where I see where we are right now. When it comes to more of a future and forward-looking thinking, is I see AI agents that they have like two, I would say, drawbacks as of now that are not allowing us to make this leap into kind of starting replacing humans with AI agents. The first one is kind of the context, the knowledge base. We as humans, we will have more context, more knowledge base. We will be able to collect this and kind of structure this and provide this for the moment to the AI agent, so it can actually do a better thinking on top of that knowledge base, on top of that understanding. And the second one is actually, can we actually introduce better systems in order to measure the output? I grade the output. Is this a good output? Is it helping the business or not? And this is where we are more in that generic field right now. And as we improve the AI agents, and we see massive investment going into this, I believe that we're going to be probably start to see better AI agents that have a better control of the output that they are generating or the work that they're doing. And when we get to that point, I think, again, we're going to see the exponential efficiency of people, of humans, increasing. Again, we're thinking about them as manager of AI agents. So they're going to become super effective. Essentially, we're going to have like superhumans. Like a team of 5 will be doing like the work of like for the team of 50 as we know it like a couple of years ago. And then again, I don't see that humans will disappear at all, because somebody needs to control and sign off that work that the AI agents will be doing. So I would say at least the next 5 years, I don't foresee it that humans will be replaced entirely by AI agents. It has the potential, but those AI agents, they really need to improve to what it is right now. This is my take on the situation, at least.
And let me ask you, do you think that AI agents would ever get to a point where, they're a standalone product that, for example, you can just buy?
Yep.
I want to buy an accountant agent. I want to buy a campaign manager agent. Yep. Or you think that this needs to be created, to be built?
Yep. For the moment, what we are seeing, and I really agree that right now, we as humans, we have all the context, we have quite a lot of the process in our mind. So the best way to build an agent is just by taking that process, taking those nuances of the flow of what the agent can use, what it should not use, or the weight of that information that should be used in order to take some kind of action. So humans are really helping the agents to become to do some tasks, some workflow better than just the generic one. So definitely this is something that I would say it's like critical. Are they going to be positioned as like hire an accountant? I truly believe so. I think there are many examples that we are seeing this. I think that this, just from an investment in AI standpoint, makes the most sense, because the investors are looking to actually disrupt the job market. So that's why they're pouring in that tons of money into this. So yes, how fast is going to happen and how entirely an AI agent can replace a human in something, I'm not sure. I'm seeing that we still need a human in the loop in order to validate that output that the AI agent is delivering. One of the ways to think, or another way to think about this, is like the current AI agents, they're trying to please us humans. They're trying to do the work and to look like they've done a phenomenal job. Is that the case? I don't think so. That the quality job is there if some human is not checking it. So it's still in a pleasing mode. It hasn't got to the point where it's critical for the work that it's doing. So this is something we need to see.
Got it.
In the market.
Got it.
That's my take. Yeah.
And I have another question for you.
Feel free to shoot. Yeah.
You're in a lot of conversations with CMOs, with founders, with VP of marketing people, with CROs, and you're in the context. You're coming in the context of selecting a service partner. Somebody that can help with part of the marketing work. Is there something that you can define as a pattern in your conversations as of recently? Something that all these companies are coming to you with. Yep. They're saying, we're looking for an agency or service partner that does this particular thing, or something that you believe is helping agencies stand out.
Yeah, this is one of those questions that I spent quite a lot of time discussing with quite a lot of folks. So I would say we are still in a phase of like, I need a faster horse. What I mean by this, usually the conversation starts, we need a different agency because this one is not delivering. And then the initial conversation is that, I would talk about our philosophy, our approach to how our job is evolving. Really, our job is evolving, and this is essential of what's going on. And our job is evolving in a ways that we can actually, we're specializing in feeding advertising algorithms or feeding some kind of algorithms. Like we never had so much access to data. We've never had this much ability to understand our business and what's worked, what doesn't work. And companies more and more, our philosophy is that they need, first of all, a consultant that can actually hold their hand, guide them through this process, help them out to put this together, to come up with those insights, and then start using better data in order to optimize their campaigns when we're talking about advertising. And this is something that usually provokes the first aha moment. Like, this is something that unfortunately the whole agency vertical out there, our colleagues haven't been able to articulate well, haven't been able to build it as a service well. They've been just more of a budget pacing specialists versus actually being able to deliver some tangible results for the clients. And we are trying to change this. This is our mission. We are really pushing the whole industry. At least this is how I understand it and I see it. And we are seeing that we are winning over in those conversations. That's the first aha moment. There is a second aha moment. So the second aha moment is when I bring in to the conversation our thinking about using AI agents into our work. This is really, I would say, breakthrough in terms of, like, we're not buying some off-the-shelf AI agent that you just take it and just use it generically for your business needs and goals. We're actually building AI agents, and we're fine-tuning those AI agents according to your business needs, according to how you should be measuring success, or what is a success for your business. So this is really, I would say, a breakthrough way of thinking, and usually the reaction to this is it's aha, like they really love this approach. And I would say overall the initial conversation results into more of an educational session of how this is transforming. But also, the CMOs are, some of them, I mean, they're aware of these changes, but and they're looking for, I would say, partners, agency partners that can actually take them through the journey. Like, they feel insecure with the existing agencies that they're working with, just because those agencies are not bringing enough, or not talking enough, or not doing enough for how they're bringing the data, how they're bridging the gap between the data silos or the different systems and processes in the organization. They're not bringing how the vision and the implementation of the AI agents into the processes that their marketing teams can actually utilize and really achieve more results with the same amount of money. This has been, again, something that many CMOs have been asking us to do. So this is kind of my at least conversations. What about you? Can you share your conversations and how are you seeing it? Because I would have the first conversation, but you would have the second conversation to continue this and get more into the details of how this would work.
I can just say one thing. One thing that really helps us, click with a lot of the companies out there that are looking for an extension to their marketing teams and driving results with. It's the focus on these results and the focus on the exact results that they are actually measured with internally, right? So we pretty much say we care about the pipeline, nothing else.
Yeah.
We'll do anything in terms of budget management, bringing the data, so you don't need to think about the infrastructure or the management inside of the operational platforms. Yeah. Including the strategy in those platforms. So we're going to close all of that so that we bring more pipeline. And the folks we usually speak with, they're measured internally against marketing sourced or marketing attributed pipeline. So when we align on that level, And what it's even more, I think, important, when we show the results in the first 90 days, this is where that relationship really, I think, grows. Because we're able to walk the talk, first of all.
Yeah.
And the second thing is we continuously show that we're aligned on the targets, and not just the investment of the media resources, but the investment in the service hours that they're putting in. Okay. So essentially, I think the service partner of the future needs to be even more all-encompassing, essentially, a true business growth partner. And this could grow with additional services very easily. So it's paid inbound, but also outbound. Outbound. And I don't mean a BDR work. I mean everything that marketing needs to do in order to help outbound growth, grow pipeline. Because essentially, right now and historically, when a company goes to a marketing agency, the conversation revolves around paid inbound, right? From an outbound perspective, there wasn't much that could be done before. But now, with all of the company intelligence that we have, the whole of engagement data that we're collecting, marketing actually has access to ad tech, to advertising technology, to help drive more pipeline from outreach, from outbound. So a true marketing service partner really needs to be, I think, all-encompassing, covering as many operational services and infrastructure services as possible in order to move pipeline numbers.
Ivo, I would like to thank you once again for the phenomenal conversation that we had. We cover so much. I think this is going to be super interesting for our audiences to check it out, to listen. We always welcome questions. So feel free to ask us anything. We would gladly follow up on it. But once again, I would like to kind of thank you for taking the time and having the conversation with me, sharing all the wisdom. And I hope that we have a chance soon enough in order to continue this conversation and kind of build on top of what we've just discussed in the near future.
Yeah, with pleasure.
And for our audience, I would just love to say and share. Thank you for being with us. Thank you for trusting in us. Would really appreciate giving us a heart. This is more of a Gen Z sign that you're young and you feel like that way. But also keep the questions and keep the challenges towards us coming in the near future. Thank you.